displaying the glory of God's creation by exploring America one park at a time. Welcome to Parking Full Time with Big Dave, the parks professor. First hole. The par and distance are at the top of the screen. This hole plays gradually downhill, but that downhill is important due to the low ceiling created by the overhanging tree limbs. There are several possible lines of play, but we're going to walk the most obvious line, which is the direct line. It's the shortest, and it's also reasonably wide. I want to welcome you back to Parking Full Time. I am Big Dave, the parks professor. This is the first basket. And there's the view back to the tee from behind the basket. The second hole marks the first appearance of this paved walking path. We're going to see plenty of that walking path on this course, and I did see several walkers out here on this path when I came here, so it's definitely a safety hazard. To get close to the basket on this hole, you'll need a slight left to right disc flight, but you don't want to cut it too much because the only real hazard on this hole are the trees off to the right. Here's the second basket right by the path. And there's the view back to the tee from behind the basket. The third hole is slightly longer, but it's almost completely open. It's also fairly flat, and in fact, most of the terrain on this course is fairly flat. Honestly, this is one of the most boring holes on this course. Let me talk a little bit about the disc golf options at this park. We are at Spring Lake Park. We are on the Texas side of Texarkana. There are 36 holes of disc golf at this park, an 18-hole east course and an 18-hole west course. Alternatively, you can break down the 36 holes between 18 original holes and 18 new holes, with some of the new holes lying to the east of the original holes and some of them lying to the west of the original holes. The fourth hole is the longest hole on the west course. There are two large trees directly in front of the basket, and those trees force you to bring your approach throw in from the right. If you have a big arm, your approach throw might be your tee shot. For most people, it'll be their second throw, and in my case, it was my third throw. Getting back to my discussion of the course layout, the 18 original holes are also sometimes called the central course, and that's important because the holes on the central course, those tees and baskets are numbered according to their order on the central course, not according to their order on the east or west courses. Honestly, I think the central course causes confusion, and I would rather everything be ordered according to the east or west courses. If you play the east and the west course, you've played all 36 holes at this park. Now, the fifth tee is located across the park road that you see. It's off to the west of the fourth hole. The next four holes are the first four of the new holes, and they're all located to the west of the park road. We're going to jump across this tiny stream in front of the tee and then walk up to the basket. The fifth hole plays through a veritable picket fence of trees, and while it's nice to play something that's not quite as open as what we've played so far, this hole's a little too much poke and pray for my taste. You're going to need a really good throw or a really good ricochet to get through those trees. I captured this video on Monday, February the 10th, and it was a cold, damp day with temperatures in the upper 30s when I came here. There's the fifth basket, and the view back to the tee. Now, the tee on the sixth hole is inside the dogleg of the fifth hole, and that does create a little bit of a safety issue. The sixth hole starts out fairly open, but as we get up here close to the basket, you can see there's another picket fence of trees that you have to throw through. The seventh tee is off to the left, and therefore this hole has many of the same obstacles and safety hazards as the previous hole. This tiny stream here is out of bounds, and we're going to jump over it. And then we're almost to the basket. While I don't like cutting down trees, I would like these two holes, 5 and 6, better if they had fewer trees. There's the view back to the tee. If you played a decent amount of disc golf, you've seen tight double mandos like the one here on number 7 before. Honestly, I have hated every single one of those double mandos I have ever seen, including this one. We're going to jump across the little stream and then walk through the double mando. Past the double mando, it's actually a pretty straight and reasonably wide fairway to get up to the basket. This is the shortest hole on this course, but I still hate that double mando. I do want to thank you for watching. Parking full time would not be anything without the people who watch. I realize that every day, and I hardly thank you every day. The baskets on the new holes are veteran baskets, and the baskets on the old holes, the original holes, are disc catcher baskets. They both catch pretty well, but they're just different, and I thought I should note that. The 8th hole is the last of the new holes for now. It's a gradual dogleg right, and it has a well-defined fairway bordered by these pine trees. Also, this fairway actually crosses the fairway of the previous hole, which is bad hole design and also a potential safety hazard. There's the 8th basket. And there's the view back to the tee. The 9th tee is across the park road to the east. The 9th hole is of course the last hole on the front 9, and we're back on the original part of the course. The tee sign on this hole recommends a sweeping left to right disc flight, but I had more success going straight at the basket, and that's the line that we're walking right now. If you're going to take the straight line, you have to keep your disc low and thread it through the gaps in these trees up ahead, but I found that to be the better option. Overall, this is a passable disc golf course at the recreational level. It doesn't have a lot of elevation, it doesn't have a lot of variety in the hole types, and it does have its share of safety hazards. It's okay, but honestly I can think of a couple dozen recreational courses I like better than this one. You see on the basket there that this is labeled as the 5th basket, and this is the 5th hole on the central course even though it's the 9th hole on the west course. That is the end of the front 9. I will see you on the back 9. Until then, have a great afternoon, take care, and Lord bless.